What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 247, or more importantly, the final show before the Switch 2 reveal, question mark?
Oh my God. We're finally here.
We've only been talking about the Switch 2 for what, like 3 years now?
I looked back and I was looking back at like our tweets that had Switch 2 in them. And there was one dating back to like 2022.
Yeah. Which I think that was
it's been a
around the
while.
time of like the Pro rumors, or
Yes. Or was that 21?
something.
No, 21 was the Pro rumors.
Yeah, because the OLED came out. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so 2021 we weren't talking 2 yet. We were just talking Pro, and then 2022 once OLED came out, people started switching the conversation.
Immediately talking about the Switch 2.
The Switch is underpowered. What are we gonna do?
At the time, I disagree, but now it's like, yeah, it's definitely time. But my name is Harrison, and I am joined by our brother, my co-host Nick. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Just a glorious Monday,
dude. It's been a good week, man. We had some snow come our way in North Carolina, so we got not as much as I was hoping, but we still got like a decent, couple inches. The kids have been out since Friday, and they're not going to school tomorrow either. So
are you serious?
Go back. Yeah, well, they have like
ice.
Yeah, I think they said like 30% of the roads, like the back roads and stuff, were like weren't safe to travel or whatever. But like they have like laptops, and like they got sent home like a packet of like a snow day packet. So I guess that's like the difference between now and back then, where
you just didn't have school back then.
You just didn't have school, and now they just say it's just a remote day. So they still have to do stuff. But I mean, you're still at home doing whatever you want. So,
man, that's still like, and that's the problem with remote work too. It's like, like I think I was interning somewhere, and we had a snow day. I was like, I can't go into work. I can't go in. And now, like,
laptop.
Yeah, now that you're remote, it's like snow day is just not as impactful. But that being said, I was excitedly watching the sky all day Friday, and we're farther east than you, so we didn't get as much snow at all. Like, it never really came down hard, and probably
we had a pretty solid amount of snow, and then around like 9 or 10 o'clock on Friday night, it started turning into sleet. So it kind of it didn't melt it, but I think we were expecting more of like the regular snow. But that's okay, We
still excited.
Still very exciting. I went out. I made crab legs that night, which I did inside. But then Saturday, because I had already like Thursday, I went out and like got all the food and stuff for the weekend, just in case like it got bad and we couldn't go out. Did you get
milk and bread?
No, we already had milk and we already had bread. We always do our shopping the Sunday before for the week.
Yeah.
So we already had all that stuff. But surprisingly enough, I went out and I got some crab legs. I got some beer, all the essentials, right? And I just had to check. Bread was stocked, milk was completely stocked. So either people realize that they don't need milk when and like it's like, come on, you're gonna eat sandwich? Like, how many sandwiches are you making? I guess you lose power.
That's big dairy and big dough talking. They just want
exactly. So maybe people finally realized. And then Saturday, I took Kellen out into the woods and we explored and stuff. That's kind of like our tradition. Every time it snows really good, we'll go out into our backwoods and just kind of like walk around.
Which the last time it snowed was
probably like 2 years ago.
2022. Yeah, 2022. 2023.
Because it snowed last year, but it was pretty weak snow flurry.
Yeah,
so we did that, and then I was like, I kind of want to go out and explore, just like around town and see what's going on. And like all the roads were like completely fine, the main roads. So yeah, it was a great week. Played so much Metaphor. Oh my god, I'm in love with this game.
I've been tracking your activity on PlayStation. I see you. Last time I checked, you had 59 hours. So you're probably
can't stop, won't stop, baby. No, I'm not. See, I think my in-game timer, which makes sense because it gets very hard at the end. So I don't know if it counts that as like, because he's like reload a save or something. So yeah, I'm probably farther than my in-game. I think my in-game timer says like 56 or 57.
Okay.
So it definitely, like, we'll talk about it here in a second, but yeah, I was worried, like, is the game going to end? I'm like, because I'm looking at how long to beat, and they're saying like 65 to 70 for the main story without doing all the side quests. I'm like, man, like I'm, and then
40 hours in
story, and it like completely turns on its head, and then there's like another 15 hours. So it's awesome.
That's good because I can save it if we want to wait, but
I mean, do you want to just dive into?
let's dive into it.
Okay.
Also, just a real aside, this game is like the best game for the Backbone port,
Yeah.
like the Backbone handheld controller thing.
Yeah, I've been using that too. Yeah,
I've been playing a ton of Metaphor on my phone, and
I want a Portal. I think I'm gonna pick up a Portal for the midnight edition when it comes out. I might.
Don't pre-orders go up?
I think they're Thursday actually.
On the day.
I know Jake Randall is doing like an all day stream because he's the one that always does like all the like 30th anniversary of the PS5 Pro and stuff like that. So
man, what a guy!
I might do that and do it with Best Buy because they don't well, they charge you and then they remove it.
So you can always back out.
I can always back out if I want to.
Yeah, I'm very tempted, and I'm trying to like rationalize myself out of it.
Yeah,
but
the Switch 2 is like also coming out too, so it's like, that's gonna be at least $400, and I'm probably gonna get a few games. So it's gonna be a very expensive, you know. So maybe not, but I really do want
it. but I want it.
but I want it.
Yeah, the PlayStation Portal looks super cool.
I poo-pooed on it. I poop on it very hard, and now I'm like, man, because just playing just playing on the Backbone, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. A little small. But 8 inches, and like, come on. But yeah, Nick, tell me about where you're at in Metaphor, and just how you're kind of liking the story so far, and all that good stuff.
I'm
no spoilers.
No spoilers. I'm past the second act, which is like I would say the second act is when you go to like the first other area.
Yeah.
So I'm past that. I'm in
Matira. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Matira.
Something like that.
So I'm in like the coastal city now, and I have 15 days until the next event. So I'm kind of like doing dungeons and traveling up north, and knocking out a few side quests before heading back down. Yeah. This game freaking rules, man. I love the characters in this game. The side stories with all of your party members are really great, and the combat is amazing. The combat, the class changing system, the archetype system is so cool. Like, I don't know, like it's. I feel like it just improves on everything that I didn't really jive with in Persona 5 when I tried playing that on the Switch.
Yeah.
Just everything about it is better. I just love the setting. I love the story. It's a very like easy to follow story, but there's a bunch of like political nuance to it, which is really cool.
But, yeah, and like funny, it like released in an election year, so it's like it makes a lot of sense. Like a lot of people can probably relate to it a little bit, and then just
there are like a lot of parallels with a
lot of parallels.
Public figures. Yeah,
exactly. It's like maybe these people aren't good. Maybe none of them are actually good at all, or not good candidates.
We need somebody all have their extreme ideals, and that's what they're trying to push. And
maybe we shouldn't have 90-year-olds and as a game. We need the young people to come in.
We don't need this old part in here.
Yeah, exactly.
So that being said, I'm almost 30 hours in, and I'm just kind of comparing this to one of the last games I played, Dragon Quest III Remake, and that game was a 35-hour.
Did you finish that game, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Towards the last 10 hours, it kind of dragged, and I kind of realized that all of this game, all of Dragon Quest 3 was gameplay. For the most part, it was like 90%, 95% gameplay, a bunch of grinding, not much story. And then I was thinking back to Mario and Luigi Brothership, which was a lot of story and a lot of hand-holding. And I feel like Metaphor just fits right in between, where it has a good amount of story, a good amount of customization, like a lot of like equipment management, archetype management, that kind of stuff. And then it has really great combat too. So it's a really great mix of like kind of exactly what I was looking for with, a grand scale RPG.
Yeah. Even the follower quest that you can do, or your teammates quest that you can do, like most of that stuff doesn't even involve any sort of combat at all. It's just kind of like hanging out with the crew, figuring out what's going on, like and like I liked all of their, like there's not a single character in this game that I don't dislike. Like all their side stuff is really interesting. Obviously some are better than others, but yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like Mass Effect 2 in a way, because like there, with the suicide mission, and like, not saying there's a suicide mission, but like each character you could go and do like their own story mission. And then when you come back, like you have a better relationship with them, you get unique weapons and stuff like that. So it kind of reminds me of that. And I know other games do that as well, but yeah, I mean, going into this game, Final Fantasy X and probably Lost Odyssey were my favorite RPG games of all time. And this might eclipse those, because it is. Wow. It's, I mean, like you said, it's got everything. It's got the grandiose adventure. It's got the really great storytelling. The story, you haven't even got to these points yet. The story is utterly fantastic. Like it is, such a good story. Not one time, like you said with Dragon Quest, I'm definitely in like the penultimate, like the end game right now, and I don't want it to end. None of the story has ever dragged. Yes, there is like a time mechanic, so like a lot of the times, you have to wait 15 days or whatever the case is. But in that time, you can do whatever you want. You can do the follower quests. You can work on getting your virtues up, like your eloquence and your wisdom and your courage. That way you can unlock more of the quests for your followers. So it never feels like you're wasting time, because even if like you do a quest and you come at night, okay, there's nothing else I can really do. I can't travel anymore, but I can cook, or I can do this, or I can do that. And some follower quests that you can only do at nighttime. So it just, the story is just, it's blown me away. Like the twists and turns that it's had has been incredible. And it just kind of ramps up, like right now, like I think where you're at, I was really enjoying the story. But it wasn't answering a lot of questions that you have. And then once you get to the next arc after this, the one you're at, it's really where like the story starts to like pick up heavily.
Okay.
So the pacing of this game, I think, is just excellent.
And like time flies when playing this game too. And you feel like you're getting a lot done, because you're like everything you do is progressing time and getting you closer to, whatever calendar date you're working towards. But it's not all combat. It's not all, just talk, like not all dialogue boxes. It's just a bunch of stuff in it. It's a really, really great game to play. Yeah. And I haven't had this in a while, but like often with longer RPGs like Brothership or like Dragon Quest 3, I kept looking up like, okay, how long do I have? Like, where am I at in regards to the end game? And like this, it kind of feels like the opposite.
It never feels like it's dragged. Like, I was to the point where, like, again, I was texting you about it. I was like, man, like I have so much to do. Like, there's so many side quests that I need to finish. There's so many follower quests that I need to finish, and it feels like I'm coming up on the end game, and then something happens in the story, and nope, it's not the end game. And then I'm like, okay, well, that's an interesting twist. And then like the very next day I played, another twist happened. So like there's always twists going on like right in the middle of the game. Yeah. And then it moves on, and then the story kind of continues on, and then you figure out what the end game really is. And then there's something else that happens. You're like, oh my God, and it answers a question that you had about, this specific race or whatever, or this clan or whatever. Man, it's It's so good. Like I think I've gotten. I'm not going to talk about the archetypes because I have way more than you do, and it's kind of spoilerish. But like I have all the archetypes that I can possibly get, and now like I'm like some archetypes, like the third version of some archetypes, like you have to. One character has to be level 20 for that final part, but then they also have to be level 10 in some other areas. So there's definitely some grindiness to unlocking the archetypes. It's definitely one of those like if you want to do it all, you're going to do a new game plus. And I'm looking forward to see what that looks like. If there's anything like additional unlocked at the end of the game, or if it's just straight up a new game plus. Or if you new game plus it with your, I'm assuming you would go into it with your stuff you already unlocked, but yeah, man, like it's one of those games where, we've done the game of the year conversation, and I'm like, yeah, this would have been my game of the year.
I mean, you're probably far enough to make that decision. You think it would be your game of the year?
And it's not even close.
Damn.
I don't know. I'd have to think. It's obviously it's recency bias because that's the only thing I played. But yeah, I think after I finish this game, I mean, like we've already made our, decision for that stuff. But yeah, I think that's something I'll look back and be like, yeah, I think this has a shot. Like as of right now, unless the story just ends horribly, which I don't see it doing. I mean, this game is just incredible. I'm so glad that we gave it a shot.
And I'm sure even a bad ending wouldn't.
Yeah,
put you off.
It's been so great up to this point. So, but man, it's real good.
I can't wait to play more of it. It's crazy that this game is making both of us want a PlayStation Portal.
Yeah,
like exactly. It's just so funny.
and I know as soon as like I beat this game, like I'm probably not going to want a Portal anymore. That's why I'm like just hold off until you're done. Because that's what I want to play it on. But yeah, I mean the only really gripe I have with the game, it definitely has some difficulty spikes, that you could get locked behind if you don't do like a bunch of different saves. But that really hasn't been an issue. Like I've never had to reload a save. I just had to kind of reconfigure my archetypes. And I just, a lot of the bosses, like, after I've died a few times, I'll look it up and be like, okay, what's the best combination? Do I have these unlocked for these characters? And then I usually do, and then I can usually get it going pretty well. The other thing is MP. I don't feel like there's a lot of opportunities to purchase like MP, like to recharge or recharge your MP like during a fight. And it's not normally a problem unless like you're in a dungeon and you're fighting a lot of because I mean most of the time you really can just run past everything if you want to. So if you're fighting everything, like your MP can get drained pretty quickly, especially if you're doing the synthesized moves.
Yeah, those take a lot.
So yeah, it can go down pretty quick, and then by the time you get to the boss at the end of the dungeon or the forest or whatever, you don't have any MP. So I've ran into that problem a few times, and then I
just ran into it too.
Yeah, I have to. Then you have to like leave the dungeon and make camp right outside, but then it wastes a day. So it's like,
I mean, that's the
one
trade-off.
of those things. Yeah, that's the trade-off. It's like one of those things where it's like, man, like you don't really want to waste a lot of time. So yeah, that's the only gripe I have, and like it is one of those RPGs where you're equipping new weapons and armor and stuff, but you don't physically see it on your character. That's a little bit of a bummer, but I feel like that's most JRPGs at this point. Like they're gonna keep their main clothing on, but you have
keep the
cool weapons. But
yeah. I have a tactical question for you. So Heismay, I guess this is a spoiler. It's spoilers for like the first 15 hours of Metaphor, but you get a Heisman as a character. So his like he's naturally really good with agility.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out what other class to change him to aside from his default class of thief.
I kept him.
You kept him as thief?
In the thief tree the entire time. Yeah, I never swapped him out.
Okay. I swapped him just for a boss because it was weak to light magic, and I needed another person on deck.
Yeah, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I mean, I think I unlocked some. I had to unlock something, but I never actually used it in battle. So yeah, I've kept him in the thief tree, and now I've upgraded him since then. I won't spoil what the class is, but it's along that lineage. So yeah. Okay. But yeah, most of the characters, like I tried to like the main protagonist, like I've kept him pretty much in the magical range. Like I have him. Obviously, you start out as a seeker, and then you go into the magic seeker. And then I did have him as the what's the fist one? I can't remember. Not the pugilist, but the one brawler. I had him as the brawler for a little bit, and that one was really fun because you use HP instead of MP, or it bases the damage off of how much HP you have. And then I switched him to the healer class, and I upgraded that lineage all the way up. So like now, like I have incredible healing abilities. I'm pretty much, as far as like, and also like in the last lineage of this one, like the defense is way up, and I have access to like heavy light magic as well. So like, and then being able to bring in like the abilities that you've already learned is also like huge.
That's nice.
And you can bring in like the passive abilities too. So like, there's just so many different options that you can do in this game. And again, like we talked about it last week, I'm not usually a fan of like JRPGs when they allow you to swap classes out. Yeah. Because I don't really ever know what to do. I know there's different combinations for different scenarios, and that's the whole point, but I kind of prefer when you can just have like one character is locked to one class. That's usually how I prefer it.
Thing,
like that's the healer, that's the tank, that's that's the attacker, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But this one, man, it's just clicked with me.
I can't even think of any games where classes are locked to a character right now.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of Final Fantasy X, but I think you can definitely switch classes in that game too. So I don't think I ever did it, to be honest. But like I've got a really good strategy. Have you unlocked the gunner?
Yeah. Okay.
So I've got it's a different part of the lineage, but it's the gunner lineage. So I've got that person. I've got Stroll as that. So like,
nice.
So basically, what I'll do, especially like when I'm fighting a boss, is I have Hulkenberg. I've got her class. I think I've got her as like a commander, so it's like one of her lineages.
Oh yeah, the one that like buffs.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I will use this ability where it brings everybody to the back automatically, raises their defense for 3 turns, and then the next time she goes, she has another formation where she pulls everybody to the front and increases their attack for 3 turns. So then after all that's been said and done, I can then pull Stroll back, have him do his attack from the back, because that's the only time you can use his abilities is when he's in the back row. And then whatever other 2 characters I have, I'll either pull them or leave them where they're at. So like that's kind of my main strategy, and it's worked pretty good.
Dang, that's pretty cool. Wait, but can't you don't need an ability to pull people to the back?
No, you can change it on the fly, but like if you have everybody everybody usually starts out in the front for each battle. So like when I get to her, I'll have everybody do their attacks, so they get that buff of being in the front, because when you're in the front you get more strength. Then I pull them back, and then they get like 3 times the defense that they normally have. So then by that time, I'll take on the first attack of the boss or enemies or whatever, and then I can move everybody up front. Then they get that automatic buff for attack, and then I can kind of swap them around for a turn or 2.
Okay, I should do that, because I've not loved her like the knight lineage that much. Yeah. So maybe I should put Hulkenberg on the commander route.
Yeah, that's what I did, because I was kind of the same way. Like I didn't love because it was the knight and then it changes, which she was good for like doing piercing damage. But then like you go to like mage, and it's like I wasn't really clicking with that one. Yeah. Yeah, and then I found and then I unlocked the commander lineage, and then once I found that ability, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely where it's at. So
dang, okay,
really cool stuff.
We need to do a spoiler cast on Metaphor when we both finish.
Yeah,
and we can absolutely. We'll go through each arc, talk about our thoughts, go through all the characters.
I was thinking maybe this year because we talk about new games all the time. I was thinking that maybe after we're done, depending on what the game is, we'll do a spoiler cast if it's like a spoiler heavy game. Mm-hmm. But maybe we should start doing like kind of like a review episode where we just like we don't have to give it a score, but we can break it down like amazing, great, good, and then bad. Because like most of the time when people look at a score and it's like 7 or below, like people are just like, yeah, it's a terrible game, and that's not always true. So I feel like if we break it down with a word instead of a number, we could do it that way. Again, we don't have to like again, we don't have to like type out a review, but we can just talk about it.
I like this. There. I like this. We're growing and changing in 2025.
Growing and changing live with you guys. But yeah, man, Metaphor, I'm obsessed with it. Like it's one of those games where when I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about it. When I'm like going to sleep at night, like I'm thinking about like, okay, all right, who can synthesize with what and this and that. Man, it's good. It's really, really good.
It's like the Tetris effect where you're dreaming Tetris, except you're dreaming
like Guitar Hero back in the day. Like I would literally like sleep,
close your eyes and
close my eyes and see the buttons coming down. Yeah, but yeah, it's good. It's an incredible game. Let's dive. You want to just dive into the video game predictions?
Let's do it.
Sweet. All right,
I got a lot of good ones.
All right, let me pull up because I've got the list here.
So for everyone listening, we are doing some predictions for 2025.
Do it that
way. Specifically doing a couple for Xbox, a couple for Nintendo, for PlayStation, and then we have a general section for third party or just random general announcements.
Yeah, we're going to try to do one for each, but we may have a multiple, and then at the end of the year, we'll tally it up and see who won, see who was right.
All
right, Nick, you want to you go first, and you pick which one you want to start.
Let's start with Xbox.
Okay.
I think.
Well, let me pull up my list. Might help. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, I think Gears E-Day is coming this year.
Coming
in November.
When is E-Day? Is it it's in November, isn't it? Or is it September?
Oh, I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah, you look it up. Yeah, that's a yeah.
It's September. Or late September or early October.
Okay. I like it.
Can I change mine to October? Okay. Gears in October, and it's going to be preceded by some sort of Marcus Phoenix trilogy. And I think, and I'm not going to make you type all this out, but I think the Marcus Phoenix trilogy is also going to come to the Switch too. I don't know if Gears E-Day will come to the Switch too, but I think the Marcus Phoenix trilogy will.
And you think both of these are coming in the same year?
Yeah.
This year?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I would love it. I'd love to see it.
I think it's closer than we think it is.
Okay. I mean, I would love to see that. I mean, I haven't played through Gears 1, 2, 3 in so long.
Yeah.
And I mean, geez, they may include 4 and 5 too. I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
But at least the first 3. Okay. Any other Xbox predictions?
Okay, this is an odd one. I think Avowed is gonna get an 87 on Metacritic. It's going to underperform financially. And it's going to get caught up in anti-woke conversation, and then people are going to say that it failed because it was trying to follow an agenda.
Okay.
87 on Metacritic.
87. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a great game, but the
has the game given off any sort of indication that it's like giving off woke vibes? I mean,
not really. No.
Okay.
But I think
I'm sure people are saying that about Dragon Age, because like that game really felt like it did just come and go. Like nobody's talking about it.
But I think it just wasn't that great.
Yeah.
And it didn't score super well either.
I mean, it scored in the 80s, right? I
think it scored an 80.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I guess the other Dragon Ages are a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see. and again, like, I don't know. It's so hard to like judge or like determine success for Xbox's stuff because it's on Game Pass.
And I want to clarify, I do not want it to get caught up in any
no.
Just want to make that crystal clear. All right, Harrison, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the conversation around that game about that stuff, but
it's like
who knows, man?
Character creators, freedom of choice. Like I feel like it's brewing for that kind of conversation. Not that it should be.
I wanted a 9-foot dong slider, but they only gave me a 4-foot.
They only give me 2 to 4 inches.
Jesus. Okay, here's mine. I think mine is possible. Okay. So new hardware will be shown off. Not necessarily released this year. Actually, hold on. Let me
wait. Does an Xbox controller count as new hardware?
No, like a full-on console. Okay. I think the next big Xbox is going to be shown off this year, and I think the handheld is coming this year.
Man, I don't think so. I'm gonna disagree with you. I don't think the handheld's coming this year.
I think so. I think it's a possibility. I think they're I know they said a couple years away, but I think they're trolling us. I think them mentioning at CES this year that they want a proper Xbox OS implemented on these handheld devices because they are definitely gaining in popularity. And with the Steam Deck, with the Lenovo Go S, I believe they have a Steam Deck OS on the system itself. So I think if Xbox wants to have a shot of having something on the handheld market, they need to get it out there. And I think it's going to be ready to go.
They need to do it sooner rather than later. And I'm assuming you think it's going to be a native handheld device and not
absolutely native. No Windows backing. Like it's just going to be like booting up an Xbox Series X right now. Digital only, of course, because I mean, obviously, And this is what I think Xbox needs to do. And I think they need to do this with the Series X, like the next Xbox as well. I think they need to allow Steam to have their own storefront on there. I think they need to allow Epic Games to have their own storefront on the Xbox, because at the end of the day, that's what they want. They want everybody just to play on the Xbox, and they also want the Xbox store to kind of be everywhere else too. So that I feel like that's a good decision. You know, obviously they're going to have to work up a deal with Epic and whomever they want to bring over as like an additional store page on there. But that way you can bring all your Steam games and you're playing on an Xbox. You know, maybe you have to subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate to bring in that stuff. So that way they're still getting a cut of some money. And then obviously, you know, if something were, you know, if you bought a game on your Xbox on Steam, Xbox would get probably like a small percentage of that sale. But I don't know. Could be interesting.
So
it's like you bring your Steam digital library on to Xbox, and then you have a choice of continuing to purchase through Steam, or you can purchase through the Xbox store. But you can only bring over your library if you have Game Pass Ultimate. So it makes Xbox kind of like this console hub, for instead of like a PC. So like they purchase the new Xbox, and it pretty much kind of acts like a PC, but it's still just a console. But you have like Epic, you have all the different storefronts.
So 2 questions. First question, how would that work for games that can only be played with a mouse? And that means that all Steam games would have to be made for Xbox as well. Right? Even if you just have the launcher on there, you still.
Yeah, I mean that may get a little tricky.
I don't know how that would work. Yeah, and then if there's like a cut that Xbox gets, and so if you were to buy a game through Steam on Xbox, that means Steam gets a cut and Xbox also gets a cut.
Right. But I'm saying Xbox could take a very minor cut for purchasing a game on Steam, and then but you have to have Game Pass in order to bring in your stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's not a good idea, but
I just don't think it's possible, because like you would have if you're a developer, you'd have to consent to.
Maybe for the handheld, maybe that makes more sense for the handheld, because then you have like you have games on Steam that are Steam Deck verified.
I think just allow the handheld to have an OS, have a Steam OS on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Completely separate.
Completely separate. Maybe they wouldn't take a cut. I don't know, but I don't know. Just have an open platform. Like, don't just limit it to just the Xbox. That way, people will come in. They'll say, okay, I could spend $2,000 for a PC, or I can just buy the next Xbox, depending on how much it is. It's an open system. I can bring in my Epic Games library. I can bring in, my Ubisoft library. I can bring in my EA library. I could bring in my Steam library. And then obviously, spec wise, that might be a little bit difficult to figure out with, like you said. But I don't know. I feel like Xbox is so open to that stuff that's kind of the vision that they're looking at right now. And maybe it just makes more sense on the handheld than trying to do that with the next Xbox. And then we talked about it before, but I look at I look at the Series X now. I'm like, do I want another iteration of Xbox? I know it's going to be more powerful. They're talking about it's going to be the most powerful system ever made, but they always say that every single generation anyways. Like, I don't want to buy into that again.
About power anymore.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like I just don't see. And with Xbox bringing everything anywhere anyways, it's like, okay, then maybe I just won't get the next Xbox, and I'll just stick with PlayStation, because I know their games are going to come. They may be timed exclusive, but at least they're going to come. And then,
they're going to come.
They're going to come. They're going to come. Okay. So maybe a little trickier than I thought. Okay, and then this next one, I 100% think this is happening. Halo Master Chief Collection is going to come out for the Switch too, and the PlayStation 5. It's going to be multi-platform.
I think that's a lock.
And it's going to absolutely shock the industry. It's going to be a game changer.
Do you think it is a launch window for the Switch 2? I
think it's going to be there day one.
Day one?
I think it's going to be day one.
Do you think it's in the trailer?
I think it's in the trailer.
You think 100%. Master Chief Collection? That would be fun. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this. I mean, if Nintendo and Xbox are talking, and they're pretty friendly, obviously. I mean, Xbox wanted to buy them at one point, so. But yeah, I absolutely think that the Master Chief Collection be there day one. That'll be a huge third-party get for Nintendo, and it'll be massive for Xbox, because that's going to sell. It's going to sell a lot of copies. Like I think it just makes sense.
Oh my god! I mean, that would be a monumental seller. Wow, that's a bold claim.
I don't know if it'll come to PS5 day one. They may make it a timed exclusive to get take advantage of a new console release.
Yeah, launch period.
But I do think it's also going to come to PS5.
Okay.
It'll be huge.
It'll be huge. Yeah. All right. Anything else for Xbox?
No, that was mine. No, I said new hardware will be shown off possibly, and handheld this year, and Halo will go multi-platform, shocking the industry. That's what I wrote down.
My only other guess for Xbox, and you don't have to write it down, I think they're going to have their best year since 2007.
Dang, that's a good. I would say that's a bold claim, but
if their lineup
really
sticks,
was their best year. They had a lot of good years after that with they had Gears 2 and 3 and
oh yeah
ODST and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean that really was their best year. I could see it, man. If a Val comes out and it's really good, it doesn't matter about sales. If that game is really good, we've got
Doom.
We got Doom, The Dark Ages. That we know that game's going to be incredible. It looks, that first trailer was awesome.
South of Midnight, which I think will be good.
That could be like an upper 70s, lower 80s type of game. Yeah. But I think it'll hit with a lot of people. We just came off of Indiana Jones. That was one of their best games in so many years. Yeah. That game was absolutely incredible, and it's definitely getting its flowers with the with critics and stuff like that, and other awards. I mean, I missed out on the Game Awards, but so coming off of that, it'll win Game of the Year when it comes out on PS5 at the Game Awards this year. but yeah, I think you're right. I think it'll be an excellent year for Xbox if they can get everything out.
Okay, let me do one for PlayStation. I don't have many for PlayStation.
I don't because I've got one.
Honestly, they've been kind of boring lately. They've been a little boring. My one.
They've been boring first party wise.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, first party wise. My prediction is that they're gonna have a PlayStation showcase in May, and Bloodborne Remastered is gonna open up the showcase.
Stop.
And what's that line they used in that promotional video that had Bloodborne in it? Persistence.
Oh, persistence.
There's going to be some sort of mention of persistence, I think.
It's going to be called Bloodborne Remastered Persistent Edition or something like that.
Yeah,
that would go hard though.
that would go incredibly hard.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Persistence Edition.
Persistence Edition. About fucking time edition.
Yeah, the shut the hell up edition.
Yeah. Any other ones you have for PlayStation?
No, nothing else for PlayStation.
Okay. My one and only, and again, like you said, I mean, we know about Wolverine. I don't know if that comes out this year. I don't even know if we see it this year, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we didn't really know much about PlayStation last year. Helldivers 2 was such a not a random success, but kind of came out of nowhere and was so successful. And obviously Astrobot was huge. Yeah. Mine is kind of piggybacking off of Halo going multi-platform. I think they're going to do a new Ratchet and Clank game, and I think it's going to go multi-platform.
Go to Xbox and Switch?
I don't think it's going to go to Xbox. I think it's going to go to Switch.
Yeah, they hate those guys over at Xbox.
Switch 2. I mean, it's possible, but I think a Switch 2 version could be. I mean, because it's a mascot, platforming kind of game. So that's what Nintendo is, obviously. So,
yeah, and I had this prediction on here at one point.
I'm gonna add one more real quick. I think Astrobot is going to come.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, Astrobot coming to Switch. Oh, you said PC.
I'm gonna say PC. You think the Switch?
I think it's gonna come to Switch too.
Okay.
I think it's a match made in hell.
All right, so that's your first one for this Nintendo. Okay, and that's all I have for PlayStation. No,
okay,
nothing too crazy. Nintendo, Nick, what you got?
I think we see GTA 5 and Red Dead 2 on the Switch 2 this year.
I like it. I like it. I feel like that's a pretty. We're gonna see so many third-party games that are years old coming to Switch too.
Yeah.
And maybe this will be the time I actually play Red Dead 2. I don't know. Probably not.
Hey, if it comes to the Switch, I'll play it.
I played when it came to Game Pass that one time. I played through the open, and granted, I know that opening is notoriously slow, but
I just get so bored, man.
I don't know if I like Rockstar's movement in their games. It just feels so overly animated, I think. I don't know.
Kind of like overly realistic to a fault.
Yeah, like in most games you can do like a 180 just like that. And in this game, like you have to like it takes like 10 seconds. I mean, it doesn't, but you know what I mean. Like it takes forever to like do anything.
Point turn to turn around.
Yeah, and that's and I love like GTA 4 is probably my favorite GTA. And that was pretty bad with that stuff too, but and I love like Red Dead 1 incredible game. And I don't know what 2, I think it just got caught up in just being like you said overly realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, what else you got for Nintendo? I know you got some more.
Let's see here. I think Hollow Knight Silksong launches with the Switch too. It's one of the day one games.
Okay.
I think it's been ready for the past few months, but they're holding back because they want to get that boost on the Switch too.
Yeah, I think a lot of indie games that will take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, just like the launch of the Switch 1 and
like Snipper Clips and there's a whole bunch of stuff that did that.
And I think Team Cherry is seeing like all of these sequels to those like OG Switch 1 indie games come out this year or come out in 2024 and 2023, and they just don't do as well because the hype for the Switch has died down.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of like they're taking that feedback and saying, okay, we'll just wait for the Switch 2. We'll launch with the hype rather than launching before the hype.
Yeah.
All right, what you got for Nintendo?
Right now I've only got, unless I can think of anything else while we're talking, but right now the only thing I've got is we're getting the Ocarina of Time remake this year.
Oh god. Fully realized in 4K.
Fully realized. my because I was thinking like I mean I think a kind of gimme or the easy one is to do the Twilight Princess and the Wind Waker. I think, and maybe these could flip flop, or maybe not at all. I don't know. But ever since the Switch launched, we've had a Zelda game every single year, whether it's minor or whether it's big time. I think they're going to follow that same cadence with the Switch too. I think Zelda is just such an important franchise. They still want that stuff to come out. So I think it's the year for Ocarina of Time. I know it's a little bit of hopium and copium here, but I think they're going to save Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, and I think they're going to do a package thing for next year because that is Zelda's 40th anniversary. Now, you could argue also that Ocarina of Time is one of the biggest Zelda games ever, the highest rated on Metacritic. So maybe they save that one for next year.
I would argue that, but
I'm gonna write it down because I want it to happen.
You're speaking it into existence. I like to hear it.
Absolutely.
So, hold on. I just want to go back through the Switch era real quick. I'm trying to recognize a pattern. So 2017 had Breath of the Wild. 2018.
I don't think we had anything actually. I think 2019 we had what?
Link's Awakening.
Right.
2020 we didn't have anything.
So maybe we haven't had a Zelda game every year.
Well, I think from then on we did. So 2021 was Skyward Sword. That was a remaster. 2022.
Maybe it's every other year, maybe.
Wait, there is a Zelda game in 2022.
Zelda.
Or something Zelda related. Oh, I guess 2018 had the Breath of the Wild DLC.
The DLC, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I think the quote was like having something Zelda related.
Something Zelda.
Sorry. 2020 had Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity.
That's what it was. Okay. Yep.
And then let's see. What did
the expansion pack? Link's Awakening came out in 2019. Skyward Sword was 2021. Yeah, Cadence of Hyrule also came out at some. I can't remember what year that was. We had Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. We had Age of Calamity. Then we had like the expansion pack, obviously, with the Zelda games coming out on there.
Yeah. So almost every year.
So pretty much every Zelda game except for,
and I think
Skyward Sword and.
But I think with having a new Zelda in 2023 with Tears of the Kingdom, and then having a new 2D Zelda in 2024 with Echoes of Wisdom, I think this would be a year for
a remake,
a remaster with the Twilight Princess in HD, or Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. But I don't think that's big enough for what they're wanting for the first year of the Switch 2. I think Ocarina of Time remake would be better.
That's what I'm thinking too. It's like, okay, this is the launch year of the Switch. Like, what's the best way to capitalize on your Zelda franchise by launching with like one of the most beloved of all time, like one of the most beloved games of all time, and launch it this year with the Switch 2. I don't think it's going to launch with the Switch 2. I think it'll be a window, like maybe it'll be, a holiday release. Although if it launched with, dude, I would lose my mind. I need to take like a week off of work to play, play this and all the other stuff.
Like special edition too. Oh, it'd be great.
Oh, dude, sick. But so yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it as is. I can see the argument for both sides. 40th anniversary, but also like they didn't do anything for the 35th either. So it's like, but 40 is obviously very big. So
yeah, 40 is huge.
They have to do something.
They do.
So I can see the argument either way, but I'm gonna stick with Ocarina of Time just to.
It's either
right into
or the remasters, because I mean, yeah, they don't have anything else. They probably don't have anything else cooking.
No, I mean,
3D Zelda. They just did 2D Zelda.
Yeah, we're not gonna get anything new. A new Zelda game. But I mean, damn. Or if we got like a remaster of like Oracle of Ages and Seasons, and have like a really, really nice like up-res HD version of that. Still, please keep the pixel style. Like, I don't want to see the dollhouse.
I don't want the chibi
visuals anymore.
I don't want it, man.
I just want like high fidelity, like 2D pixelated. Yeah, that's exactly what I want with the Zelda game, like the next 2D Zelda game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ocarina of Time. I think they'll show it in the trailer. Then get on Thursday. God, that would be.
Now,
so epic.
Okay, now you're setting yourself up for disappointment, and that's not what I want to. That's not what I want to hear.
No, there's gonna be no disappointment. Like I know the rumors said that we're not going to see much games, or they're not going to go into like great detail. But we're going to see games, of course.
We
like,
have to see
not show a
games
new
in a
system and
console
not
reveal.
show games. But what if, right? What if at the very end of the sizzle reel they're going to show, you get Link pulling out the sword for the first time, and it's in glorious 4K, completely redone visuals.
Glorious 480p, just the best.
Or it's a demaster, and it's a 2D version of Ocarina of Time. That would be also kind of crazy.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or a 3D version of A Link to the Past.
Or maybe that. Anything Zelda showing off, I'll be excited for. Because it's a new system, baby. It's a new system.
I guess they... Okay, let's real quick. No. Let's wind forward real quick. Okay. I just want to talk because we have all these predictions, and I feel like we're circling around, Nintendo's first party IP for the Switch 2.
Okay.
The reveal could be coming up this Thursday. What do you think we're gonna see?
So we're gonna dive into like what we think the launch title is gonna be.
Yeah, let's do it
for the Switch 2. Okay, I like it. Mario Kart. I think Mario Kart
9 or Mario Kart
9 or X. Japanese companies like to, and companies in general don't like 9. I don't know if it's just like
9 has a good vibe to it.
Yeah, I don't know, because like 8, it's like the infinity symbol kind of, and we had obviously Mario Kart 8 just come out. Not just come out. Jesus Christ, come out 18. Jesus. When did it come out? 2017 or 2018? Did it come out the same year as Switch?
Well, technically, it came out in 2014.
Well, yeah,
it came out 2017.
The one that mattered.
I would not take any Wii U Mario Kart 8 slander.
Yeah, I think it launches with Mario Kart, and I think they call it X. I think they're just gonna call it Mario Kart X. I think that, they have like Mario Kart, they had Live, and they also had Mario Kart Mobile, so like they can combine those two together, and they're like, oh, that was 9, whatever. And then we've got, I think they'll call it X. I think it'll launch day 1. I think they're gonna absolutely capitalize on how successful Mario Kart 8 was, and it's just gonna be an evergreen title for them for the entire generation. It's gonna sell a bajillion copies. That's the number one selling game on Switch, and I think that's going to get people to buy a Switch 2. Is like, oh, the next Mario Kart is launching the same day as Switch 2. Oh yeah, we got to be there.
Yeah, I think that's launch. I think that's launch. I think they also have one more launch title, and that's Metroid Prime 4.
I think you're right.
We're kind of like beyond the days of companies having multiple games launching on the same day for the launch of a system.
Yeah.
And like I'm even hesitant to say that Prime 4 would launch with the Switch 2. It might be like a month after or something like that.
I think because I was like, okay, where does the next Mario slot into that? Because we know it's going to come in year 1. And I think it makes sense just to have it like they did with the Switch, do like a holiday release. I think it came out October that year. I think it do the same exact thing. I think do Mario Kart 9, 10, whatever they call it, get it out there. And I think Metroid Prime could also release same day as Switch 2 because they're so different than Mario Kart, and people are going to want to play everything. Like a lot of people do buy multiple, like 3 or 4 games for like a launch system. So having something like Mario Kart that's going to be just fun that you can have with your friend, play with your friends. We don't know if Metroid Prime 4 is going to have multiplayer or not. But then you have something that's so different. You have something that's really going to push the boundary. And I'm sure Mario Kart is going to look great, but like Metroid Prime is going to be that showcase title. And it's also going to launch on the Switch because that's what was promised. It'll be a cross-gen title. But it's going to be like that showcase game for the Switch 2 and how good these graphics can look.
Yeah. I think between Mario Kart, Metroid Prime 4, Halo Master Chief Collection, and Hollow Knight Silksong.
That's a big launch. If that all comes to fruition, that is a massive launch. Like, that's crazy.
My only hesitation with those 4 is that I feel like Metroid Prime 4 and Halo Master Chief Collection butt up against each other.
That is true.
I think instead you have Elden Ring in there.
I mean, I do like Elden. I do think I didn't mention it, but I do think Elden Ring does launch.
I think Elden Ring and the DLC and potentially Night Rain all come to the Switch too.
Oh, absolutely. Do you think Elden Ring launches on the same day with Switch 2, or do you think it's going to be? Do you think because I don't think Night Rain's going to come out and like, I mean, the rumors suggest March, April, May right now, so it's like any one of those months, and we'll know here in a couple of days, hopefully. Mm-hmm. But do you think it launches day one with Switch 2, or do you think it's going to be launching whenever Night Rain officially launches?
I think it launches day one.
Day one? Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. That's probably like the, other than what, GTA 5 and Red Dead 2 and maybe Cyberpunk, that's probably like the biggest third-party game that could be an option to launch with it, right?
Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
And I'm hesitant on GTA 5 now because that has like the whole GTA Online, and I know Red Dead does as well, but that's not like as big.
Yeah.
So like, I do wonder if Rockstar would want to have that whole ecosystem set up right before GTA 6. I think Red Dead 2 is more of a lock for like first year.
Well, I mean, what if they launch it and they just do story mode? They just do the campaign.
Hmm.
Maybe charge $40 and don't include multiplayer at all.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you can't be mad at something that you never had. So it's like, you launched it at $40, just the campaign only. I think that's reasonable.
I think so.
I don't think. I mean, you've had 20 years to play GTA 5 online. Like, come on, like you can't get mad at not being there on the Switch too.
Right. I don't know. Do you think anything else could launch? Any other third-party stuff could launch with or around the Switch?
I think Ubisoft comes in full force. I think we're going to see a lot of Assassin's Creed stuff coming. I think with Assassin's Creed Shadows getting pushed to March, I think that's definitely could be a day one as well. I think, and this is going to kind of go into my third party and general announcements. I think this is kind of Ubisoft's last straw with is how well Assassin's Creed does. And I don't know if it will save them. I think Ubisoft this year gets bought out by another company.
Yep. I would 100% agree. I mean, they're looking to get bought out. So
yeah,
it makes sense. I just don't think people want to buy them.
I mean, they have so many franchises. I mean, between Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia, the Rabbids games. I mean, they have so many like really solid IPs that I just don't think Ubisoft is a very competent company, and they just can't make these games.
They can't get it right.
They can't get it right. I mean, Assassin's Creed is fine and good, but they just like Skull and Bones. Like they spent 10 years on that game. Comes out, it's a $70 game, but like a live service game, and that game is still going. Obviously they have stuff like For Honor, which hasn't done crazy numbers, but it's sustained.
Still
like
ongoing.
It's like 10 years now. They have like Splinter Cell's like pretty much a dead franchise with them. Rainbow Six Siege, obviously, that's done very well for them, but it's a very hardcore audience now.
Yeah,
they haven't really done much with that franchise anymore. Like they have a lot of really great franchises that they just do nothing with, or when they do something with, they're not very good games. Like Ghost Recon. Like you took a really cool, awesome like Ghost Recon and you turn it into an open world. Like not every game needs to be open world. And that just kind of what it's turned into.
It's clear they have a formula that they wanted to implement on as many franchises as possible.
Yeah, Far Cry Yeah, the Avatar game, the Frontiers of Pandora, like that was just a Far Cry game with a Pandora skin. Like, come on, like it doesn't. They don't all need to be that. That was a great formula back with Far Cry 3, and you just kind of
3, and I would say 4 was still good, but
4 was still good.
Yeah,
and I did like Far Cry. Oh gosh, Primal. I did like. I think I still have that game actually. Yeah, I do. Primal, like I did like that game, but it was very much the same kind of like.
I think it literally reused the map from 4.
It did. So yeah, I think they get bought out this year, and then hopefully, and that's kind of what we hope with Xbox, with them purchasing Activision, is seeing these old games come back that a lot of people want. So hopefully, if someone buys them, maybe it'll be Xbox.
I hope it's not an Xbox. I hope it's somebody else.
Yeah, I just don't like with Xbox, like they have so much on their plate right now, and they're still haven't given us those games yet. We got Indiana Jones. That game was fantastic. We got a Valve coming out here. Hopefully that game's great, but we still haven't gotten that like solid cadence of releases.
Yeah,
maybe buying Ubisoft is not the right move right now, but if someone does, like hopefully they still keep them third party and everybody can play it. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Assassin's Creed Shadows will sell a bunch and revive Ubisoft, and they can kind of get back to their glory days. But we'll see. That was my only third party one, Nick. No, I did have one more for third party. Final Fantasy 16 and Black Myth Wukong come to Xbox this year.
Nice. Yeah, I also had Assassin's Creed Shadows underperforms, and Skate officially comes out this year. So nothing crazy on the general front. I think plenty of other stuff going on between Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation.
And you said Skate releases this year?
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. All right. I think that's everything that I've got. Anything else you got for any of the other ones?
That's it for me.
Cool. Well, I will save this list, and we'll dive back into it on our final episode of the year for at the end of this year. Let's dive into the news very, very quickly. Obviously we've been talking about it all episode, but Switch 2 is very heavily rumored to be announced on January 16th, this Thursday. Nate the Hate came out and said on his podcast, and then a lot of other outlets and insiders corroborated it. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. It seems like this is officially happening. God, I hope so. Yeah, please, Nintendo, put us out of our freaking misery. I honestly hope like that they announce this thing and it looks nothing like the leaks.
I do too. I hope it's a real like out of left field, not even a Switch, just like something wild.
But that would be insane.
We'll see.
I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think all that stuff is pretty legit or pretty accurate for the most part, but we'll see.
Maybe there's some like cooler stuff with the magnets that we're not
definitely think. Of. Yeah, I definitely think they're gonna do something else with the magnets than just sticking on like the Joy-Cons, whatever. I think they'll do some more stuff than that.
Yeah.
And then we talked about the Switch 2, Halo, half a dozen Ubisoft games coming to Switch 2, Flight Sim 2024 makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of Xbox stuff is going to come to Switch 2 this year.
Oh yeah.
And then lastly, Xbox Developer Direct got announced, coming out on January 23rd, so in 10 days. They have confirmed. Let me pull up the. So three games: Doom, The Dark Ages, South of Midnight, and Sandfall Interactive's impressive-looking turn-based RPG, Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Hell yeah!
That's the that JRPG, but has like insane like Final Fantasy level graphics. Coming off of Metaphor, I'm very much in a JRPG mood right now, so I would love to see that. Speculation about seeing Outer Worlds 2 maybe there, maybe Fable, maybe Gears of War E-Day. They've always got that mystery game. There is the heavily rumored Oblivion remaster that is coming. That's going to be a proper like remake almost. That might get shadow dropped. Who knows?
They did say it was a studio working on a new game.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that means like a new franchise or a new game in a franchise, or just like a new game, like Oblivion remake is technically a new game.
Yeah.
Or just an unannounced title. Like we no one really knows what it means, but I think I don't know. There's speculation that it's some like iconic like Japanese franchise or something. I don't know.
Yeah, people would say in Final Fantasy, which would make sense, like 16, but like
I don't think that would show up.
Really around 16. Like, I mean, that game was good, really? But like it didn't kind of blow anybody away. People are also speculating Persona 6 coming out this year, maybe. Resident Evil 9 potentially. That's a Japanese developed game. Those typically aren't revealed at Xbox stuff. It's usually PlayStation or Capcom's own events, but I mean that could be huge. So we'll see. Or the next. I don't see the next Final Fantasy game getting announced here. I think that may be too soon. But
yeah, that's too soon.
Could be cool. Could be cool. Yeah. So very excited. I mean, those directs have been. I mean, they've done 2 now in January, and they've both been. I mean, obviously the one had Redfall in it, so it's like, but it looked solid then. But when we played it, it was not very good. Yeah. But a lot to look forward to, Nick. Very much. It's a very much a very different vibe than it was last year. Because I mean, remember last year? I mean, I don't think Prince of Persia had quite came out yet, and Power World I think is maybe on the horizon, like in the next few days. I'm not quite sure, but there was that heavily rumored Xbox stuff going on with like them going completely third party, and obviously there was a little bit of, they came out and did their weird podcast and like confirmed some of those games, and now it feels like yes, there's Halo rumored to come to Switch 2 and PS5, but the vibes feel different. Like people I think are ready to accept it because they kind of have to at this point. But I think it's exciting. Like imagine like a PlayStation player that's never owned an Xbox finally getting to enjoy the greatness that is Halo. Like that's awesome.
That's really cool. And
Switch 2.
Yeah. And I guess that's why last year was kind of weird too, because Switch 2 got debunked for 2024 like in March.
Yeah. Bummer.
Right.
Yeah.
So early, right? And like you still have so much of the year left. So it's like, what am I looking forward to on the Switch until then? And now we know that this is going to be a Switch 2 launch year. We know there's a bunch of unannounced games coming. We know Xbox is going to bring games over to the Switch 2. And that's because of the precedent that they set last year. So last year it was a building year, man. It was a complete building year for Switch and for Xbox and for PlayStation too. I mean, they didn't really have any first party games.
No.
So I feel good about what's to come in 2025.
Yeah, this like we said last week. I mean, this could be an equivalent to like a 2023, a 2007 type of year where we get 2017, where we just get some really incredible games all year long. And it starts next month. Like we've got, Pirate Yakuza game. That game looks awesome.
They got Avowed.
Avowed's coming out next month. They did delay Assassin's Creed, which is good for Assassin's Creed, to be honest.
Yeah. Got Monster Hunter Wilds.
Monster Hunter Wilds coming out. Dynasty Warrior Origins been reviewing pretty good.
Pretty good. Not gonna lie.
I saw like a couple of reviews for it earlier today. I was watching on YouTube and I was like, man. I was like, I know Dynasty Warriors burned me hard on the PSP, but this one looks pretty good. I don't know if it's $70 good, but
hey, I have fond memories of Dynasty Warriors.
I did too. PSP. I did too. Yeah, I did too. I enjoyed that franchise.
It's a fun franchise.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff to look forward to, and stuff we probably don't even know about yet.
That's the exciting part. The secrets.
Yeah, the secrets. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for episode 247 of the show. Again, we might be talking about a lot of stuff next week. Well,
it could be hot.
It could be historic. But yeah, we'll be definitely talking about all the stuff that either happens or doesn't happen. Hopefully, it happens, but we'll see. Probably, I'll probably be done by metaphor by next week. I don't know about you.
I probably won't be done with it. But
yeah, you probably got another 30 hours left at least.
Yeah,
28, 25. So I'll talk about the end game of that without spoilers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun show next week. Can't wait.
Oh yeah.
All right, Nick. Any? Obviously, you can follow us on all of our social media platforms. TikTok. Maybe not.
TBD.
Maybe not you. Maybe not you next week. Sunday is maybe the cutoff for you TikTok, but who knows?
Wait, was there a decision made?
I don't know. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but
I think there's gonna be some last minute change of opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, follow us on our various socials. And Nick, final thoughts before we wrap it up?
I hope for everyone's sake that Nate the Hate is correct, so we don't look like fools again. But
hey, we won't. The Nintendo YouTubers will.
That's true. That's true. We're safe.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves real quick. Are we gonna miss the thumbnails and the woes?
Whoa.
And
the big, huge,
massive Nintendo leak? We're gonna miss it. And guess what? Right, the day after Switch 2 comes out, it's Switch 3 time, baby. So let's keep it rolling.
Switch 3. It never ends, man.
It never ends.
Then it's just gonna be like. Then it's going to be just games. It's going to be big update on Nintendo Switch 2 launch window titles.
Exactly.
I can see it now.
It's going to be fun. All right, guys. Historic week coming up. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you
next week.